Hey y'all, so I'm just here taking notes. I decided let me read my Bible again from Genesis and just this time take time to just take notes and get some revelation and understanding. So I'm only on page 2. I mean, and all my life I had this idea that God made the world in 7 days and that He created Adam somewhere in that time period. And forget that, forgive that pump. It has to stay on, but it is so noisy. So I really thought, oh, okay, God made the world and everything, and then Adam, and then He rested, right? But here's something interesting. Um, I'm reading, and God said, let us make human beings in our image to be like us. And this is Genesis chapter 1:26. Genesis 1:26, right? To be like us, they will reign over the fish in the sea, the birds in the sky, the livestock, the wild animals on the earth, the small animals that scurry along the ground. So God created human beings in His own image. In the image of God, He created them. Male and female, He created them. Then God blessed them and said, be fruitful, multiply, fill the earth, govern it, reign over the fish in the sea, the birds in the sky, and all the animals that scurry along the ground. But it's in chapter 2. Wait, continue. All right, so He had made everything and made man in His own image. In His own image. I want you to just catch that. In His own image. Then God looked over all He had made, and He saw that it was very good. The evening passed, and the morning came, marking the 6th day. So the creation of the heaven and the earth and everything in them was complete on day 6. And on the 7th day, God has finished His work of creation, and so He rested. But after that is where we see the man and the woman. So in chapter 2, this is after day 6 and after God had rested. When the Lord made the earth and the heavens, neither wild plants nor grains were growing. I'll skip and go to chapter 2, verse 7. Then the Lord God formed the man from the dust of the ground. He breathed the breath of life into the man's nostril, and the man became a living person. I always thought that Adam was before God rested. Like he was a man walking around before day 7. And maybe I'm wrong, I'm slow, and maybe I'm like the only believer who's like Allah. But no, this points out when God said, let us make man in our image, that wasn't a living person. The man God is talking about is not a living person. So the image of God that we are created in is not the living flesh. It's not something you can look at and say, the nose, the eyes, no. Mankind, human beings, are made in the image and likeness of God. That is not a physical form. It is later that God now came and said, now, let me take from the dust, form this thing, and breathe this breath of life into it, and make it a living person. And then that image and likeness of God, the Spirit, now dwells in this living person. Am I the only one who's just like, wait, what? I know that the story of creation is always God creating and then manifesting, God creating and then manifesting. But I really had not caught that till today, that the person of Adam came after God had rested, but God had finished His work way before. And the image of God that He's talking about ain't got nothing to do with this. The living person that you see, the image of God, is that spirit that was walking around, that form, that whatever it was. Let me call it the spirit. That's what the image and likeness of God is. And when, therefore, people say that they will know you by your fruit, it is that they will check that spirit and see, is it in the image and likeness of God? It's not your face, it's not your behavior, it's not, And that is why now I further understand why Jesus said, it is not what a man eats or puts in his body that defiles him, but what comes out. Because the defilement is the spirit. You defile the spirit. The physical form, but it's the spirit. So when you speak, the utterances of your mouth tell us about your fruit and what is in your heart. And that is what we can look at and say, are you moving and being and representing the image and the likeness of God? So this is where discernment comes from. Isn't it an amazing and beautiful gift? We ought to listen to the words that are coming out of people's mouths, from the pulpit especially. Does it match the image and likeness of God? And what is the image and likeness of God? His word. Plain and simple, His word. If you want to know it's God, check it, double check it. But here we are, we've been trained, even by the church, that here was Adam walking around, and that's what Adam was, and we are made in the image and likeness of God. So when you see somebody, you can't say, oh, they're this way or that way, because we're so physically based, we're so what we see based, and our eyes can't see the spirit world. So we judge based on what we see. We've been trained that way. And now I understand more why it says, open my eyes and give me understanding. Let me see beyond. As a counselor, we are trained to listen, and we hear beyond what you say. You can say, yeah, I'm okay. Yeah. The way you say it tells us way more. And so I'm praying that we will have ears to hear beyond, into that deep spiritual place, and eyes to see the fruit of the spirit of the people we are dealing with, especially on the pulpit, especially those who come to prophesy. And so that when we are eating this spiritual fruit, we are not defiling our own spirit. Isn't that beautiful? It really goes to show us that life is spiritual. It was spiritual when He was saying, let us make man in our own image, and male and female He created them. That them He's talking about, not to be confused with the they, them, she, him, him, whatever today, is without physical form. It holds the complete essence of all God is. Both male, female, both X, Y, both the origin of all creation. And that is why it is both. I'm going to give you another lesson on that I just caught in the next video. But for now, take a pause and think about that. That we're not talking about Adam walking around on two legs. No. We're talking about the image and likeness of God was created. And God rested. He saw it was all good. But then to operate on earth, this thing needs to be like the earth and of the earth. So let's give it a physical form. Breathe into it the breath of life and my spirit. And it became a living person. When people look at you, when people talk to you, when you speak, when you check your heart, are you created in the image and likeness of God, or have you defiled your spirit? And if so, take heart. As long as you have breath, there's opportunity for you to go back to the Father, to go back to the original creator and say, I am completely messed up. Could we start over? Could you wipe me clean? Could you take the mess, fix it, sort it, and make me into the thing that you had created, the image and likeness of you? Because that's all it's all about. That's really all it's all about. We are trying to be the image and likeness of God. All of the Bible, all of Jesus' teaching is teaching us to be our original form, which is like God. God, I hope I am like you. Make me more like you. Trust in me. Fix me. Prune me. I need to look like you.